$100,000. That's what it takes now for a company to sponsor H-1B applicant. And no, of course, $100,000 is not, it's just a separate fee. And you might think like, how is this even possible? You want to watch the rest of this video. My name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States to help you secure legal status to live and work in America legally, including foreign national applicants, sponsored by a company or individuals, or family-based applications, and even investors. So here's the deal. It just got announced just yesterday, okay? September 19th. President Trump had signed a proclamation September 19th, a restriction on entry of certain non-immigrant workers. And you might be thinking, what the heck is he talking about? Okay. If you look closely here, we always ask a question like, what is the purpose of this? They claim that there's fraud. Okay. Now, if they're so much concerned about fraud, President Biden administration actually in 2024 proposed a rule that went into effect on April 1st, 2024, and that was to increase the registration fee from $10 to $215. Okay, you can see that here. And actually, it said that because of the new fee from $10 to $215 just for the registration in March, okay, that significantly reduced the duplication of registrations. And so what was happening is that more than one company was sponsoring a foreign national for H-1B. Now, here's the other thing. Here's the other kicker here, is that if you go back to this proclamation, it's really focused on STEM jobs and IT jobs. But the reality is that actually there's a lot of other occupations that apply for H-1B. For example, dentist, others professional occupations, not just IT. So it's quite strange. They really seem fixated on that just to capture the attention of Americans. And they also provide some data here and to try to show the number of people who quote unquote take advantage of the system. But reality, look at this here. Some of you know this already, but there's a cap for the regular cap, and there's also advanced degree exemption cap, known as a master's cap. The regular cap is 65,000. Okay, let me increase the screen here so you can see it better. 65,000. And then 20,000 for the advanced degree exemption. That's not much at all. All right, so let's get down to it. So going back to the proclamation, what else other than $100,000? The thing is, fortunately, it doesn't affect people who already have H-1B, okay? This is for newly applicants, okay? But here's the thing. You also want to know, so for people who already been approved for this, it doesn't affect those persons. People who want to change status, file extension of renewal of the H-1B, you're not going to be subject to this new fee, okay? Employers, companies need to know this because I'm sure many people are very concerned right now because it does take effect September 21st. So it's supposed to take effect September 31st. And a lot of attorneys, of course, and many people in general are probably wondering, how can this happen now? And it's not supposed to. So I do expect there to be a legal challenge to lawsuits. I know of several attorneys who are considering it. They're looking for people to file this lawsuit. Now, so if you are interested, please contact us and we can share your information with the other law firms considering to do that as well. What's supposed to happen is a rulemaking process, just like I shared this my screen earlier about the President Biden administration proposing rule from $10 registration fee to $215. So that similar process should happen with this $100,000 additional fee. And in terms of the when it takes effect, it's also strange here. Let me share my screen again. It's because and under the scope and implementation under Section 3 here, it shall only apply to aliens, of course, immigrants, foreign nationals who enter or attempt to enter the United States after the effect of this proclamation. It's as if the government doesn't really understand how the H-1B works, okay? Because registration happens in March. The selection of those registrants, aka the lottery, they don't call it a lottery anymore, as most events happens in the end of March. And then you have the actual application process, which the deadline is the end of June. And so some people pay for the premium, some people don't. Premium processing, aka expedite processing. But either way, you cannot start the job essentially until October 1st. And even before October 1st, if you're abroad, you have to go pick up the visa, have a visa interview appointment. Okay. So there's a lot of things that need to happen. And so, really, the people that it could affect in this present time after September 1st is if you're outside the United States right now. Okay. And you just maybe somehow you've been delayed on picking up your visa, whatever, for whatever reason. Unfortunately, State Department, embassies, and consulates across the world do delay the visa stamping in your passport. For yes, even for H-1B holders. A lot of people don't know that, but it happens for many different visa types, not just for family-based visas. Okay, but let me bring to the screen again here because it does mention again no later than 30 days following the completion of the H-1B lottery. So then again, the next one, there only happens one time a year, so that's going to be March of 2026 is the next one. And after that, they want to report back to the president, or the president wants a report on whether they should continue this extension of the restriction or not, in quote unquote in the best interest of the United States. Okay. It also mentions, by the way, anyway, so this makes me very skeptical that they don't even know what they're talking about. It just doesn't make sense in terms of timing, because they have this valid until next year, 12 months from now. And so 30 days after this registration, that's around beginning of May. Okay. Just the timing of everything just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about this. Do you think there should be some kind of additional fee? Do you think it will actually prevent fraud? Will it really alleviate the concerns of the quote unquote concern of the American people who want certain jobs? I don't know. I'll leave it up to you. I think you know what I'm feeling here. It also has here section 4 to amend the prevailing wage levels. This is another change from, I believe, last month, where the White House does want to prioritize people who are, as you can see highlighted here, non immigrants who are high skilled and highly paid aliens, of course, foreign nationals. And if y'all understand, some of y'all understand the H-1B, traditionally it's just been for people, not just, but traditionally it's for people who have recently graduated. So inherently, if you have recently graduated, you're more likely to go into register, have a company registered for you for H-1B. And if you just recently graduated, you don't have that much work experience. And as a business owner myself, I tend to pay people more if they have more years experience. So really, as you can sense here, even when people are out, so it will force people out, right, back to the country. And some people, you can't actually apply for H-1B, get sponsored when you're abroad, right? But as many people know, you go through college in America, it's about the connection, the networking, right? It's who you know can take you to the next step, the career path wise. It certainly can. I've known that to be true. So with that being said, it's really, in my opinion, JT's takes here, it's pushing people out. It's forcing companies, clearly, especially with the 100,000. I don't even think they needed to add this extra fee of 100,000, but it's clearly forcing companies to not sponsor people anymore. But if you're a company owner, you're an entrepreneur, you're doing a startup, especially if you're in the tech industry, let me know in the comments. What do you think? Do you think this is going to deter you? Seems obvious to me, but maybe I have a different perspective. Okay. The other things you need to know is that when they add this, even let's say even companies are willing to pay the extra 100,000. Okay. And usually when this happens, there's an expectation that there's going to be no problem. You pay the fee and then your employee is going to get the visa like that. And it some reason that the State Department with the consulates and the embassies, they just tend to be a bit slow. And the default response for many things is undergoing background check as the reason for the delay, or for 221G is what we call it, for administrative processing. So it's going to be very frustrating for companies thinking that they're going to get this employee onboarded in America ASAP after promptly paying that fee. My Not just my gut, based on case experience, I don't think this is going to be any faster for companies in the foreign national. So take note of this. Let me know what you think in the comments. Share this video with your friends, companies that you know, you work with, collaborate with, who usually sponsor people. Okay. All right. We'll talk to you soon. If you're not a subscriber already, go ahead and subscribe down below, and we'll see you in the next video.